As with everything on this godforsaken app, things get taken way too far. Sup, it's Sage, and I wanted to talk about two opposite trends that have been going on recently, the overconsumption and underconsumption core trends that have been happening on TikTok. A lot of the times, overconsumption is pretty easy to recognize right off the bat, but underconsumption is a bit more tricky, and I think a lot of the people that are even participating in it are a little confused by what it means, so let's dive right in. Starting with a well-known cup, Stanley. This cup somehow has a death grip on so many women's lives that they'll even fight over them in stores. It's just a cup. Right here. Take it out. Oh, got him. God. Even children were asking for Stanley cups for their birthday, and I guess no offense to Stanley, but this type of item should not be something that children and teens are crying and begging for. This is where you know TikTok has infected your child's brain if they are crying over a freaking cup, especially has to specifically be the Stanley brand.
Let's pick a Stanley
like
for
that,
today.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna go with
this is
the
just
cream.
Insane. Oh my god, I have to go back. I don't even care about the rest of the video. Like that right there, why? What is the point? I get that people like collecting things. Not only do a lot of people just excessively overbuy these cups, which makes no sense because their whole purpose is to be a reusable cup to where you only need like one, maybe two, but people are also going overboard with accessorizing them. Like literally buying accessories for their cup. Like a special ice tray just for the Stanleys. And of course you have to have a blue ad, a brand new holder, and then why do you need, can we just stop with that? What? Okay, this is insane. Why would you need, like what even was that? That was like perfume and lip balm. You need to have a perfume and lip balm holder for your Stanley cup. Like, oh my god. You could maybe get by with the little holder because it's like, oh, I want to hold my snacks in it. It's like, fine, whatever, I could kind of see that. But this influencer specifically does quite a few of these kind of videos, and some of them are a little excessive. Like, would you really want to be smelling all that fragrant stuff while you're going and taking a sip of your drink? Or I don't know, I could see me being a dumbass and then accidentally going in for the straw and then I freaking mouth the fur, and then now I pretty much just want to throw up because I have fur in my mouth and I don't want to do that. Like, it's so obviously excessive. In retrospect, it makes a lot of sense, but there's also a lot of overlap between overconsumption and restock talk. First, I want to say it's totally fine if you enjoy watching some of these types of videos, especially because they add some really satisfying ASMR, or sometimes just seeing things get organized is really nice, especially if you have like a chaotic, messy area. It's nice to see other people organize and feel like they have their life together. But also just keep in mind, this is 100% curated content. You are not at all supposed to be like this, and a lot of the content you see is just crazy, unrealistic, and way exaggerated for the algorithm. Now, this is actually the same influencer from the last video with the Stanley Cup, doing a restocking my pink bathroom. And the sounds are always nice. Okay, nope, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be that annoying person. Right there, that's on purpose. You're not accidentally doing that. That totally has to be rage bait. Like right there, they intentionally overfill and then intentionally just aggro it on. Like, oh my god. Look, that is such a big, like, come on. That's totally for rage bait. And if you look at the comments, you can see people actually being mad because of that part right there. But let's continue. Oh, that's fancy. Did she actually use that cup though? I feel like she just dumped it. And then what are these even? Okay, so then that just got thrown away too. So single-use plastic got thrown away just to show you what it was. It almost looks like... Oh, okay. So, okay, I'm guessing that also just got thrown away because it was just for the video. Oh my god, so many things that are just one pack. Okay, that one actually makes sense to be singles, but like so many things just individually packaged, like unnecessarily too. It's not like you're traveling. You don't need them all individually. Oh my god. Pink toilet paper. Like, what the heck? And then, okay, right there. She literally just did this part for show just to have that satisfying sound and that satisfying look of shaving cream coming out, because I'm guessing she literally just washed that off right down the sink. Like, how many times did she just do something for show that was just to get dumped, to get wasted? And then, oh my god, all that single-use plastic, all of this. all of these, so many single-use plastic, like, it's just, you can get a 5-pack, you can get a 10-pack, you can get a 20-pack. No, it's not gonna look as aesthetically pleasing, and that's the only reason they're buying all these individually packaged things. Oh my god. This bothers me way more than it should. I think it might just be the Oregonian in me. Like, we need more sustainability. Okay, for this next one, I might be confessing a little too much, but I don't even use a purse. Like, this right here is all I take with me. I want to cover my cards and my ID so you don't see them. And it's only because I can fit it in my pocket and I don't have to worry about keeping track of a whole purse. So forgive me for not understanding, but what the f is a purse tower? A whole cabinet.
Today I'm going to go through each drawer and show you exactly what's in it and how I use it
just for a
to stock my purse. My toxic trait is not being able to buy just one keychain hand sanitizer holder.
Like, looking at this just fills me with so much stress. Not only just thinking about how many decisions I would have to make of which keychain do I want today? What about hand sanitizer? And what about the hand sanitizer cover am I gonna use today? Like, this is just setting me off already. But oh my god, this is just so much money and literal space being taken up by what looks like a bunch of trinkets that you really could just be fine with like one or two or maybe a few more. I can understand if this is like your thing and you love doing this every day, like this is something that just brings you joy, but I would hope even you would be able to recognize that this is just way too much. Oh my god, and there's a part 2. Okay, I'm not going to part 2, but like, oh my god, that's just so much. Just the thought of keeping track of all that. Like, there's so many choices that I already stress about making on a daily basis. This sounds like something that would just make my life more stressful. Even the creator of this TikTok account can understand how ridiculous her spending habits are, because she even made this heartfelt video for her audience.
I have been filming and monetizing my addiction for the whole world to see for the past 3 years.
Okay, that takes, like, heartfelt points are reduced a bit, because, like, why the hell is there an ad in the middle of this?
It is time for me to make a change.
Yes, it is. And around this same time, she also made another video with a similar sentiment of, like, kind of being done with herself.
I have a fucking problem. This is all the shopping that I've done within the last 2 to 3 weeks. I think this is going to be my biggest haul. The bigger the haul, the more trashed my mental health is.
And that part right there is the part that, like, people really need to remember. The bigger the haul, the more trashed my mental health is. And if that's, like, really true for you, then oh my gosh, please make a change. Like, I was so happy to see these 2 videos, and I was like, these videos are almost a year old, and I'm like, I really hope this was like her wake-up call, because I was really rooting for her with seeing this type of video and her being able to come to that realization, hoping that there would be a lot of change, because this video was actually made like almost a year ago. And as somebody with family members with spending issues that led to massive credit card debt, I was really hoping this would be a big turning point for this creator. I wasn't really sure what happened directly after this heartfelt message, so I wanted to check up on her TikTok to see what happened directly after this posting and what happened over this last year. At first, directly after, it looks like there was a huge content shift focusing more on decluttering, and then sadly for the rest of the time it looks like it's bouncing back and forth between hauls and decluttering. It's really disheartening to see this, especially when she's even saying the bigger the haul, the worse it is for her mental health. Hopefully at some point she'll be able to get the help she needs, but sadly her shopping addiction is also what her whole content is based on, so I don't think it's going to be a very easy rut to get out of without a lot of dedication. Okay, so we've covered a lot of overconsumption, so let's sprinkle in a small amount of underconsumption examples. I've seen no bed frame be mentioned in multiple videos, and the comments also say, because this was the first thing I thought of, the comments mentioned, no, you absolutely should have a bed frame. Because a bed frame is pretty much something that every consumer with a bed should have. It helps with airflow underneath the mattress, which helps prevent mold growth. So this is actually a good example of going a bit too far with underconsuming, that it might actually be detrimental for you. At bare minimum, you might have to toss your mattress earlier than expected, or you might completely ruin the carpet underneath due to mold growth. Also, even beyond just like the objects themselves, no one wants to be breathing in mold. No one. And then this video was also branded as underconsumption. feel like that's pretty common. And don't a lot of people do that too? The cup comes back. Unless I'm just a little off kilter, I feel like this is actually just closer to mindful or average consumption. Like, this is just normal, right? So I went to the comments and that's pretty much what everybody else is talking about. Like, no, this isn't underconsumption. This is just normal consumption. So I know that I'm not like completely out of touch, but this is just one of those examples of like, there's a lot of overlap of what people are claiming as underconsumption just being like normal or just mindful consumption, like regular schmegular people. Okay, super fast. Check out some of the products in my handmade shop if you're interested in supporting. Self-care is another area where you can see both ends of this trend. Here's some good examples of way overconsumption for something like bath time. Yes, a bath can be a great way to relax. I love them, but my god, you do not need this many things in the bathtub with you in order to better take care of yourself. This is just so much unnecessary consumption. For this one, I also just had to point out, she's an ice lady. I wonder if she even uses them. Here's another influencer that just has way too much self-care products, pretty much like a whole closet dedicated to it. But why have a full closet when you can have more? Shower Talk enters the chat. Because of course, there's a subsection of TikTok called Shower Talk. This creator pretty much has a self-care store in her own home. It's just so excessive. Let's take a quick look back into Restock Talk and see how this influencer is restocking her guest bathroom. And remember, this is her guest bathroom. That already just seems like so much. And there's more drawers. Oh god, oh my god. These could have just been bulk containers. They're guests, they don't need their own little freaking mini one. This is like better than what most freaking hotels do. By a lot, and it's just so unnecessary. One loofah though, hey, there should be more than one loofah. What even are some of these okay, never mind, they got the more loofahs. Some of these products, I don't even know. Some serums, hair oil, like, what? This one at least makes sense, yes, have some of those pieces, but like, my god. Why would they need a little container? That one makes no sense to me. And then, oh my gosh, all the plastic waste. It's like a little mini mart just in her bathroom. And that's supposed to be for a guest bathroom. I don't even have a guest bathroom, but I feel like really all you need is a few things for them to be able to take a shower, hand soap, toilet paper, and maybe if I'm feeling fancy, there's a tissue box and some lotion in there. But like all of this, oh my god, I don't even know what like half of the products were. I feel like this one has to be for rage engagement to get people to just comment and be upset about like, why is my stuff not like this? Or you're doing too much, which is exactly what you see in the comments, are people being like, wow, this is way better than my bathroom. And just talking about how excessive it is. Oh my god, that's just so much. And oh my god, this lady also does ice. I don't know why this surprises me so much, because I guess they're trending for a reason, but the ice ones make me laugh every time that I see them. Like, why was it so popular? Also, here is this influencer's Amazon page. Like, how many products are there in total? It's pretty ridiculous. But now you know why she overconsumed. It's in hopes that you overconsume too, but only if you're using her affiliate link, of course. She needs to get that bag. Now here's an underconsumption video for self-care related things. I mean, doesn't seem that bad. So honestly, almost all of the other stuff, it doesn't seem that bad. I've seen people react to this one. A lot of them do just immediately react with like disgust, but I don't know, I'm torn on this one because I also have an electric toothbrush and you can remove the heads. You can have multiple heads. So maybe it's 2 different heads. That actually wouldn't be that bad. I don't know, is that gross? I don't think that's that gross. Wait, let me go to the comments. Okay, actually, in the comments, she pleaded the fifth about this question. So either they're both nasty or she's just trying to be mysterious for extra clicks and likes. Okay, now here are some screenshots from another video that was marketed as underconsumption. Now, I'm not sure, again, if I'm disconnected with reality, but isn't this just normal consumption? Like, I feel like this keeps happening where people are confusing underconsumption with what a lot of people, even in the comment section, see as just normal everyday consumption. If you like this type of content so far, please let me know in the comments because it was actually really fun trying to do this deep dive and having comparisons. And I feel like I could branch into so many different directions that are related to this topic, but that's really only if you guys want more. While you're here, you might as well like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Now, on to one of the categories that really gets under my skin. Clothing. The overconsumption section could be a whole anger-inducing deep dive on its own, so I'm gonna keep it short. But let me know if you guys would be interested into more of a deep dive. Just look up Shein haul. And of course, here you go. Here's 2 of them that are super popular and posted just within the last week. Yay for fast fashion! Here's a video that was marketed as both normal and underconsumption, which, like, see, people in this trend are also confused about the meaning too. I can see 1 bag being reasonable. Honestly, same with 1 perfume, that's not too bad. But this one I'm kind of side-eyeing. I feel like 1 purse and 1 daily pair of shoes is actually pretty normal, but only having 1 set of gym gear I think would actually qualify as underconsumption because you really do need more than that. Unless you're doing laundry like 3 times a week, or you're wearing the gross sweaty clothes multiple times, which in itself could potentially be like a health hazard. Too bad, she's likely lying in this video so she can hashtag underconsumption, and a bunch of her other content is things that would likely be considered overconsumption, where she's showing hair care, makeup, skincare, and other products. So I guess this one kind of counts as taking it too far, but I guess it's really only for views because it's probably just fake. And the thing is, you don't need to take it to an extreme on either end. Especially for clothing, you can have a balance of thrifted and new clothes and not constantly caring about all of the fashion trends going on all the time and constantly changing. I mean, I personally feel like I have a pretty balanced relationship with clothing. I really don't give a about seasonal fashion trends. If anything, the end of the season is the only part I care about because I might be able to get some discounted jackets or shorts from Costco. I also don't really care about the high-end name brands, like just let me feel the fabric and I'll be able to tell if it's worth it for the price they're trying to sell it for, or if it's as thin as paper like a lot of the fast fashion Shein shit. I try to only really buy clothes when I feel like I need it. Like this past couple of years, I've been on a huge fitness kick and have been going to the gym like 4 or 5 days a week, but at the very beginning of it, I only had 2 pairs of pants that would fit me. And after starting to get back into working out, I also realized I preferred shorts way over pants for working out. So I got a 3-pack of shorts when I work out. Then I lost about 60 pounds and they were getting a little too loose, so I bought another 3-pack of the shorts in the proper size. Some people might say having 6 pair of pretty much the same exact shorts is way too much, but for me, I don't want to do laundry more than once a week, so having the 6 pairs works for me because I wear the pairs that actually fit me for working out, and then I'll have some of the larger pair that I can just wear at home for comfy fit. But hey, what works for me might not work for others. You might be a little over for certain things and a little under for other things, but as long as you're having moderation in what you're doing, you'll find the right balance. Let's dive into another area where this is also still really relevant: makeup. Here is a super obvious overconsumption example. It is just really so excessive, and I don't even know if someone wore makeup daily or even multiple times a day if you'd be able to get through this amount of makeup before it expires. This one is especially weird because they actually titled it Underconsumption. So I'm not sure if they're making a joke about this being a small amount of makeup, like a haha, you can't afford it, you're poor, or if they genuinely accidentally wrote under instead of over. It was just weird and caught my eye. Here's one that was labeled underconsumption. That already seems kind of staged. I don't see anything else unless I'm just blind in the It does not look like there's anything but makeup in that bag. If they are actually getting thrown away, I can only hope that they're maybe like expired or something. But if I'm being honest, since it is a brand new garbage bag, my guess is they got taken right back out after filming. It seems extra ironic too, because if you wanted to be convincing at all about wanting to consume less, having a hand excessively filled with rings like this isn't going to help with that message. Even if this was real, I don't really know if this would count as under-consuming. It's just plain wasteful. You've already bought the product, give them to friends or family. Or if they are unopened, just donate them. It would really only make sense to be throwing them away if they were actually expired, which something makes me think they're not. Here's another video for makeup and underconsumption. No, that's just good. Use all your stuff. Okay, wait. Eee, that definitely looks like mold. You lost me here. Maybe you actually are under consuming here, because like, no, you need to consume more makeup sponges than that. You should not be blending your makeup with mold. Lash extensions? I just can't tell. It almost looks a little dirty. I don't know. Is that like just extra mascara and stuff? Like that can't be good to just keep re-gooping onto your eye, can it? I really have no idea about that part, so somebody else will have to comment on that. Here's another one that was labeled as underconsumption. Did you notice anything? Because to me that just looks normal. Like right now, TikTok has me second guessing what I think reality is. This is within the normal range of makeup, right? And it's good you're not throwing out those like partial makeups. You should be using it all the way through. Or do I just have too much faith in people thinking that this is normal? No, because it seems like the comments agree. I'm also a pretty bad example of underconsumption with makeup because I kind of did something I shouldn't have. In the last 10 years, these two things are the first two pieces of makeup that I have ever bought. Main reason being these dark circles you can see under my eyes. After I lost a bunch of weight, these have gotten so much darker and deeper. I hope that changes later, but because of that, and I'm having myself on camera, I got that for under my eyes. But before that, I had a gifted foundation that was gifted about 9 years ago, if not even longer, and I did actually use that. I used that on my face. That's pretty bad. And I have really sensitive skin, so that was really stupid. I guess I underconsumed too hard. I should have just not put it on. I'm not joking, I did do that for a video because I was so self-conscious about the dark circles under my eyes. But then, once I did some research about what I'm even supposed to use for dark circles, I wasn't even using the right color. So I bought those two pieces of makeup, but this is a perfect example of me leaning a bit too heavy into the actual underconsumption side. Like if I was going to put something on my stupidly sensitive skin, it should at least be something not massively expired. And I should have either just like worn nothing and just accepted it or bought something new. Now, if you're somebody that uses a lot of makeup, it would make sense for you to have more makeup than I have. Maybe you even have multiples of the same foundation or something. Hopefully you don't end up using as much as Meredith does. Here's a little more in depth on that lying influencer here. But if you're a big fan and feel like you buy way too much, maybe just think twice before you end up having something like 3 shades of the same exact lip color that you barely touch. Your limited space and money should be valued more than that. Just like for underconsumption with me, I should have valued the health of my skin over the potential of spending a little more or buying a product. Both ends of the spectrum have a very important thing in common. They're actions that are classy if you're rich and trashy if you're poor. Overconsumption leads more towards hoarding behavior. People go through horrid credit card debt and even admit to things like this.
I wanted it so bad that I literally called my sister and I asked her for her social security number. I asked her if I could open up a credit card under her name so that way I could buy this purse. Now, there is such thing as like taking something too far. And at this time, I knew that I was taking it too far.
Maybe this is not something that should be being glamorized on social media, but it is, and so many people wish they could buy all of this stuff and be like this. When the sad reality is, this is a hoarder's mindset, and maybe if things weren't designer purses and expensive products, people would actually be more likely to see the reality behind it, and not just make it a trend based off of a mental health issue. On the other end, underconsumption core is almost making a lifestyle trend out of just consuming less, when it's often just normal everyday consumption. They're even almost trying to glamorize something that for a lot of people isn't even a choice. Like, of course I'm gonna use all of the lotion and shampoo to every last bit. I can't afford not to. And why would I want to just waste it? Of course I only have one pair of daily shoes. I can't really afford to just throw another $60+ out the window when I don't need to. Both ends of the extreme just feel really gross to me, but I do want to make a key point. A lot of what people are hashtagging as underconsumption is actually just normal consumption, because if you think about it, underconsumption would just mean consuming under what the average person would, but what you're doing is being compared to the insane influx of the other end of the spectrum with overconsumption and restock talk and all of these other videos that it just feels like underconsumption win in comparison because all of this overconsumption stuff is just making this massive bias. Like, here's overconsumption videos, and here's what we call underconsumption. And because of the perceived bias that overconsumption is causing, here's what we think the average person consumes. But the reality is, the average is actually down here, overlapping a lot with what we call underconsumption. Does that make any sense? Like, a lot of the videos are just normal, everyday people type of consumption. It is a balance, and it has moderation. This is everyone. Okay, to be fair, that is everyone but our sharing a toothbrush, using a multi-makeup sponge, having no bed frame type of actual, like, way underconsumption. If someone has just one of something and you maybe have 2 or 3, don't let seeing that type of video be the sole reason you end up getting rid of something or donate something. Think beyond just the trend and the extremes that people try to take things to on TikTok, and see if having the extra backups you have actually serves a good purpose for you. Are you only buying certain things a few times a year because they go on a great sale and you want to buy multiple when they're on that awesome sale? And you know 100% you're gonna use it before it expires? You're totally fine having a little extra stock on hand. On the other hand, if you buy a lot of different things because of a scarcity mindset or because of limited time deals when they're marketed as a buy now or you're gonna miss out, please think twice before placing an order. Do you really need those things? Will you actually use the amount you're purchasing? And is the cost of saving worth it for you where you're at financially right now? Don't just buy to get that dopamine rush, and also don't just throw things out to only have one and fit a certain trend going on. I personally love the general sentiment behind underconsumption core, but there's always people that just take it a little too far, so don't let those people leave a bitter taste in your mouth about it. Please make sure to use all your makeup before you buy too much excess. Decide if this year you even need to buy any seasonal clothing, or if you're good with what you have in your closet right now. And really, please think twice before you make an impulse purchase based on an aesthetically pleasing TikTok. How about we just have mindful consumption or balanced consumption where you just think a little before you buy? Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Why do you have that? You butthead.